I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle. I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
Yo, how you living? How you feeling? How you doing? First Choice Fantasy, we're back today. We got the Week 3 wide receiver start sits of the 2020 NFL season. I'm gonna kick it off to Alex. Alex, you didn't do this previous video, but today you're gonna have to do it. Say the scoreboard for the fans.
The scoreboard. After 2 weeks, we've got a real hot one here. Brandon in the lead with a +3. And I am following him with a +1. And Ed is short behind me with a minus. Okay, maybe not that short behind me. Ed is moderately behind me with a -9. If you aren't familiar with our scoring system, you can get a -2, a -1, a 0, a +1, or a +2. You're picking players, so I'm sure you can figure out how that works. If you do really good, you get a +2. If you do really bad, you get a -2. And if there's injuries, you get a 0 because that's just that seems like just the easiest way to handle it.
Isn't this indeed true? This is true. This is indeed. All right.
You don't really pick guys expecting them to get hurt, but now we got that out of the way. We're going to kick it off to Brandon here. Who are you starting at receiver, Brandon?
This is probably my favorite set of start wide receivers I've had in the past 3 weeks of football. I've got, well, I'm hoping it will. Deontay Johnson against the Houston Texans. I think that's going to be a beautiful matchup. This defense, the Texans defense I'm talking about, is just not very great when it comes to the pass. However, their defensive line is pretty solid. They can definitely rush the quarterback, I feel like. Yeah, and like Alex's roommate said, let's fucking go.
There you go.
Deontay Johnson is a start. Lock it down. I think the Texans will be able to put up some points. I think, yeah. So then I've got.
Say that he's the best receiver on the team.
Well, he is the best.
He
is the best receiver on the team. So maybe this isn't as bold of a take as one would think. Moving on to my second start, Marquise Brown against the Chiefs. I just like this matchup because I think it's going to be a lot of points going on the board this game. That's the game that we were hoping for last year in the AFC Championship round, and the one we just didn't get. But I think Lamar Jackson versus Mahomes, it's going to be just a high-scoring game, and I think Marquise Brown is going to be a benefactor of that.
All right, let's hear it from Alex.
All right, I'm going to start it off with Terry McLaurin against the Cleveland Browns. Not sure how much Washington football you've watched, but they don't really have receivers outside of him. And he had a solid game against Philly, and he had a great game last week. I know a lot of that was coming behind against the Cardinals, but honestly, you might see some more of that against Cleveland because Washington isn't very good. And someone's got to do something for them on offense. So I'm going to go with keep it going. Scary Terry. He's a solid pick. He's a solid pick every week. My second one, this attracted some eyeballs at first. I'm going to go with Anthony Miller. That 0 last week does not scare me.
Whoa.
Maybe a little.
Just a little bit.
But it's fine because they're playing against Atlanta. We've already beat this horse to death if you watch the other videos, which you should. So I don't have to talk about it again, you ungrateful jerk. But the Falcons don't really show any interest in defending the pass or in recovering onside kicks. I'm not letting that one go ever. And that's gonna stay with me longer than the Super Bowl. But yeah, Anthony Miller. They're good. Trubisky's gonna be airing it out. Allen Robinson is gonna have a bounce back week. Anthony Miller's gonna get on the board. They don't guard shit. Go with them Bears receivers. They only got 2 of them. Miller, book it. Ed, your picks.
So just a little side note based on what he said about Bears receivers. That means start Allen Robinson, though we don't have him listed. Start him with confidence.
I was thinking about saying him. Well, that's just stupid. That's too easy.
You did come off a poor week last week, so
Anthony Miller
might
also
be questioning
came off a poor week with a whopping 0 points. I don't know about you, but that's not what I'm looking for out of anybody.
Never.
0.
No,
unless like I'm starting the Eagles defense, like a 0 would be a good game for them.
Want to know what I am looking for personally?
What's that?
CeeDee Lamb.
I'm looking for CeeDee Lamb, but in particular, I'm looking for anybody that plays the Seahawks defense. So, obviously, as you know, last week, the Patriots just tore the Seahawks apart. In the receiving game, nonetheless, you would think on the ground, no. Julian Edelman had I believe it was career-high receiving yards or receptions.
172, I believe.
Something along those lines. It was
something like that. It was approximately way too many.
And this is something that the Cowboys will obviously capitalize on with their high-powered passing offense. And I believe CeeDee Lamb's going to be the biggest beneficiary of that. Even last week I called it when they played Atlanta. He put up 14.5 fantasy points on 106 yards, okay? No touchdowns. Say he gets a touchdown, say he gets 70 yards. That is 13 points at least right there. Book it. 13 points from CeeDee Lamb against the Seahawks this week. Yeah. My second start is –
About that Jamal Adams trade.
Oh, yeah, about that Jamal Adams trade. He couldn't cover Edelman to save his life. Anyway, moving forward to the second –
safety?
Huh?
The box safety, but anyway, go ahead. Brandon Cooks.
Safety. Brandon Cooks against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, as Alex had previously stated, they're pretty good against the run. They're not that good against the pass. Brandon Cooks, pass, touchdown. That's
you see where we're going here.
Yeah, you got to connect the dots sometimes yourself. I'm not here to do that. Yeah. I'm here to bring up the dots so you can see them. And I guess, speaking of dots, we'll just move on to the sits. Brandon, why don't you kick us off again?
So this week, I've got week 1 waiver wire is Russell Gage. He's someone I brought up week 1 to pick up. And this week's waiver wire, I believe one of us did Robbie Anderson this week. That was Ed. And those two are my sits. Russell Gage against Chicago. Not a huge fan of this matchup, although I think the Falcons will be laying on some points on this team. I know I said earlier in previous videos how Atlanta, they're going to put up points. Russell Gage is one of those players where I can see will struggle against the Bears defense. Then I've got Robbie Anderson against the Chargers. I don't know, I think his reign of 2 games in a row of just being pretty consistent, I think it comes to an end this week. Chargers defense is not a cakewalk. And with McCaffrey being out, I think for the time being, this offense is going to be at a standstill for a week or two before they find their footing again, because they haven't been without McCaffrey for a few years, and he has been that entire offense for a little while. So I think Robbie Anderson might struggle this match. And that's why he's a sit.
You struggle. Ed, I started, so I'll finish. So we're going to kick it to you here.
All right. Well, I'm just going to finish that by saying I'm not too sure I agree with you there. But we're going to move forward to my sits, which are going to be Stephon Diggs against the Rams and N'Keal Harry, person who just took advantage of that porous Seahawks secondary last week against Las Vegas. So Stephon Diggs, obviously, against the Rams. I feel like I don't really need to say this. I feel like I've said it multiple times about Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald and yada. It's a good defense. We get it, you know. The Bills' offense also looked pretty good, so you might have that counterpoint. But think about who they played: the Dolphins and New York. So cool your Jets. I like that joke. It wasn't really a joke. Moving forward, N'Keal Harry at Las Vegas. I believe that this is going to be a very run-heavy game. I believe Derek Carr is going to struggle against that secondary, leading to less passes from the offense. You've seen Cam Newton. I think he had 19 pass attempts his first week, so I don't think they want to pass the ball if they don't have to. And I think this is going to be a game where they don't have to pass the ball, leading to N'Keal Harry getting no targets, little targets. 20% target share on 20 targets is still 4 catches. So, Brandon. Alex is here for me.
Brandon, go again. No. It's funny you should say Stephon Diggs because I was going with John Brown because I just think the law of averages states that he's not going to score a touchdown every week of the year. He's already gotten 2 of them, so I don't know if they're going to have Ramsey follow Diggs. I don't know if they do that with him or if he just kind of like chills out there. But my thinking, if he doesn't follow Diggs, then it would be wise for the Bills to put Brown over there on his side, but that's just me. Either way, I would imagine at some point he's going to be matched up against him, so that's rough. And like as Ed said, better defense here, and I get scared when somebody scores touchdowns on just multiple weeks in a row. That's odd. And like he really did most of his damage on 49 yarders, like that.
Yeah.
I think he had a long pass again. I think at some point NFL teams are going to stop allowing that. I'm sitting this week. My second sit, well, if you were anything like me this week, you thought, well, Michael Thomas is out. Drew Brees has to throw to somebody, so he'll probably throw to Emmanuel Sanders. You were wrong. Actually, I was wrong. We were both wrong. We're in this together because that was a tough 0 to take, man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm just accepting that Drew Brees can no longer throw to any receiver not named Michael Thomas. I think he's been spoiled by Michael Thomas's ability to get open no matter what's going on. And he sees his other receivers just kind of running around out there, and he said, that's horse shit. I'm checking down to Jared Cook. So, Sanders. I don't care that Thomas is out. I'm done. Get me off this bandwagon.
Sanders.
I don't care if I have to jump in front of the wagon and it has to run me over on the way. Brandon, I'm ignoring you because I don't even want to think about that.
He will. This will be the game where he blows up.
Shut up.
I could see it happening.
Possible.
Oh, shit, wait a minute.
Emmanuel Sanders going off against Green Bay.
Nothing. Green Bay's got some solid corners. They're going to shut his ass out. And when he notches like 17 receptions on 24 targets while wearing Michael Thomas's jersey, because that was the only thing they could do to get Brees to throw at him, I'm going to say that's cheating. So I get +2 anyway.
I'm going to say that Emmanuel Sanders going off is inevitable, just like we are. Sign off, and that is inevitable.
Oh, shit.
At the end of the episode, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us know your start-sit questions downstairs in the comments, and adios.
I'm afraid of the basement.